Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. It may not just be Indian gaming that we have to be concerned about, and he's got some breaking news.
That's right, Sam. We have breaking news this morning. Without a special session of the legislature, it appears that Washoe County could see a $500,000 a month hit to its taxes. We'll have more on this and the details on our pundit panel. But first, we have two regents that represent Washoe County area on the Board of Regents. One of them is Howard Rosenberg, who's a frequent visitor here. Today we talk to the other, Doug Hill. And then what's going on with Elko and Winnemucca as far as economic development? We talked to the head of the Economic Development Commission, Bob Shriver. Sam?
Lordy, not another special session. Meanwhile, on the pundit panel today, Scott Craigie, Keith Lee, and Martha Gould. It's all coming up next on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Catch a straight, dine at 8, lucky you. Lucky you. Dance till 1, have some fun, lucky you. Lucky you. Taste the shrimp, have a sip, try the pool, play it cool. The Sienna Hotel Spa Casino. Lucky you. Yeah!
The biggest risk your company can take.
Well, Barbara, you did very well on your interview.
Hiring employees can help your business get to the next level.
And your resume looks outstanding.
And it can also expose you to corporate crimes and costly lawsuits that can bring your company to its knees.
So, we'd like to offer you a position.
Before you hire another employee, hire the professionals at Employer Links. Call today to get our free CD-ROM, The Top 8 Risk of Hiring Employees.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Call 882-1700 to see what we can do for your organization.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad, political analyst Ande Engleman on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the News 4 Broadcast Center, here's Sam Shad.
As we kick off Nevada Newsmakers today, we're joined by Doug Hill, who sits on the Board of Regents of the university system. Welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you for being with us, Doug. Let me start right away with something that's on everybody's mind. We're the University of Nevada system, UNS. Then we went to USCCN to include the community colleges, right? And now we want to change the name again at a cost of $43,000?
What, I assume you want to, but
No,
I certainly
I
am not interested in it. You know, that's one of those issues that people get all excited about because somebody has a brilliant idea. I don't think that issue is going to go anywhere. There are some very important issues facing the university system, and the major one is going to be growth in the next year. We're going to, in the next few years, right now, according to the state demographer, we're going to increase the student population by 50,000 students between now and 2010. And we're going to have tremendous growth. And if we want to change our state from being based primarily in a service-based economy to a technical economy, to a high-tech economy, education is the way we've got to go. Just yesterday, the information came out that Nevada is #2 in the lowest high school graduation rates of all states in the nation.
Okay,
we've got to educate our students.
Take a breath, if you don't mind, so that I can ask a question. We are looking, though, you're talking about growth in the university system, and we know we're starting out the next session with a deficit in the budget. You're going to have to make cuts. Where are you going to make those cuts?
I don't know. We don't know what the deficit's going to be. Or how much it's going to be, but you cut the places where it's least painful and where you can maintain the integrity of the system.
Well, so for instance, would you cut administration rather than faculty?
You're going to have to probably cut throughout the system, and depending on the size of the cut. I have been on other boards. I was on the Washoe County School Board when we had tremendous cuts, and you're going to have to look at the activities that damage the system least in the long run. And yes, you're going to have to cut administration, but you're not going to make up a great number of dollars with just cutting administration.
Okay, but the bottom line is that we're not going to be seeing any governor in the next probably 4 to 6 years wanting to raise taxes to give to anybody. In fact, as Andy pointed out, we're already looking at $200 million shortfall. Governor Gwynn was quoting as looking for the economy to start booming, and then that way we would get more money into the system. Where are we going to get it from? Do we not need to look at perhaps raising the standards for entry into the university system? Right now, and by the way, we did raise standards for entry into the university system. It is marching up in the next few years to a 275 for a high school grade point.
It's a gradual.
It's a gradual increase in standards. But the fact of it is, Sam, is that the state of Nevada, from the last statistics that came out, is the lowest state in the United States in matriculation to college rate. You remember when we were kids, you wanted to find the worst state in the union on any statistics, it was always Mississippi. That's not the case anymore. Going on to college, Nevada is the worst in the United States. Now, the Millennium Scholarship kids have not hit the statistical base yet, and we have hopes that that will increase our education rate, but right now we're in bad shape. And if we're going to have the kind of future that you and I want, that's where we have to go. Education is what made this country, and if we don't educate our populace, we're deluding ourselves that we're going to move forward. But do we not need to look at a different model? I mean, it cannot come from the state at this point. It does not appear to be able to come from the state. Do we, right now, college presidents and chancellors do a lot more than just run the university system. They raise a lot of funds. Is it not incumbent upon them to raise more funds privately? We have. If you will look over the last 10 and 20 years, the proportion of the university budget, both universities, that has come from private funding has continually marched up, and we're going to have to do more private fundraising. Now, it is possible to do private fundraising for scholarships. It's also possible to do private fundraising for buildings. It's very difficult to do private fundraising for janitors and maintenance and lawn care and things like that. But that's what we've got to do. For many years. DRI does a wonderful job. I have to ask a very quick last question.
And I've got a quick last question too.
Okay. Well, I just want you to comment on what's going on down in Southern Nevada with the Wendell Williams case and the university system and being involved in that. That whole matter raises some very serious questions. And I will tell you that I am unfortunately unable to comment because there is a continuing, ongoing investigation. I don't know a whole lot more facts than probably you've read in the newspaper. I can tell you, though, that I take it very seriously. And I've been in this community for 25 years, and I'm going to address it very seriously when we get the information. Once that information is released to the Regents, will you release it to the public? It depends. There is some information by your legislature passed laws that said, your legislature passed laws that said certain matters must remain confidential. Not about public figures. And I will follow those laws. Okay. The matters that are not confidential will be released. Clarify. Presidents of colleges and universities, do they report to the chancellor or do they report to the Board of Regents? Well, that's an interesting question, a little bit of both. And sometimes they're supposed to report to the chancellor and they do end runs to the regents, but that sort of thing happens. All right. Thank you, Doug Hill. We'll be back on Nevada Newsmakers right after this.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Terry.
And this is Dan's Pizza and Parlor. Everything we make here is from scratch. Our fresh cut fries, homemade hamburgers made to order, fresh pizza dough made with 3 types of flour, and Terry's secret pizza sauce, and Dreyer's world-famous ice cream. And if you have a sports team, your kids can really have a great time here. Oh! Dan's Pizza and Parlor on Victorian Avenue, just down the street from Great Basin Brewery next to Pyramid Highway.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at DeAndrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South DeAndrea Parkway in Sparks.
Welcome to Sushi Club, best sushi in town. The Sushi Club in Independence Square uses the best quality products. The sushi is dynamite, and the service is just wonderful.
The Sushi Club is bigger and better. We have 11 sushi chefs on staff, and the service is great.
All your friends will tell you that Sushi Club is the best place for the best sushi.
Come join us for lunch or dinner.
The Sushi Club, 294 East Moana Lane in the Independence Square.
Now that's great sushi.
To experience the royal cuisine of India, you need some serious magic or simply transport yourself to India Garden, right here in Reno, where you'll discover Indian specialties refined over centuries. Seekh kebab, tandoori dishes cooked in our own tandoor oven, biryani specialties, curries, fresh-baked Indian bread, over a dozen vegetarian dishes, even dishes rare to India like dosa, South Indian-style crepes. India Garden off South Virginia near Sports West. We are India.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
Bob Shriver is the Executive Director of the Nevada Commission on Economic Development, and we welcome him to the program here. What's the health these days of our rural counties?
Rural Nevada probably is the greatest challenge we have for economic diversification and just development in and of itself. Our urban areas do very well. We have professional staffs. And the notoriety and the ability to market the Reno-Sparks area in Las Vegas is much easier. Once you leave those metropolitan areas, the rural area of Nevada in many cases is remote. Very long distances between major economic centers that can be of help to them to provide other services.
So what are you doing, for instance, in Elko?
Well, we've instigated a program several years ago in which we want the communities to decide how they want to prosper. This takes on some self-evaluation, some strategic planning. We think the best way to develop these rural communities is for them to nurture and grow the businesses that are there, keep them growing, and from there develop this entrepreneurial environment in which we can entice other companies to come.
So is there anything major in Elko or Winnemucca that you're doing?
They, like many of our rural communities, are part of the natural resource development, mining, agriculture based. They'll always ride that's their heritage. Fortunately for them, they're on Interstate 80, they're on rail systems, which have a much better opportunity than, say, some of our other communities off of, say, Highway 50 or something.
Well, let's talk about Ely. Ely has got a major crisis going on with JCPenney pulling out of the area. And then that entrepreneurial spirit you were talking about, the city fathers are now getting together to try and figure out how to bring in a business or create one themselves to replace this so that people can still live in Ely and buy a coat if they want one.
Right. We got involved early on when the announcement first was made by Penny's. That community is the most resilient people I've ever been around in my life. They're an inspiration to anyone. Anytime you think things are going bad in your life, you need to go to Ely and see the spirit that these people bring. They got organized right away. We were involved through our Regional Development Authority out there. We brought in experts to talk about the market itself from the university. We talked about the needs. We had the community do the research on what do they want? Do they want a JCPenney store? And when you do the analysis, Ely is 190 miles from the nearest larger community, which is Elko, for any type of shopping. So we think there's ways to get existing merchants to expand their line.
Such as?
Right now there's I can't think of the name, it's a variety store that handles a lot of different product lines. That family is interested in that.
You know, why has the Great Basin Park not taken off and been more of a source of revenue for White Pine County?
I think a lot of it has to do that the closest community is Ely, and it's on the way. You really have to want to go there. It's not along the path to some other community.
Well, I guess I'm thinking marketing then.
Marketing has always been an issue, and probably it has to do that once you're out there, you have to go back to Ely for restaurants or motel services, something like that, or continue on to Delta, Utah, for that matter. There's very limited lodging available for people who want to stay over, unless you camp in the park itself. And I think, while some people say that's a problem, true purists of the national park system actually think that's a blessing, because it limits it to those who really appreciate the remoteness of that park. So there's both sides of that.
And on that note, we have to leave it. Bob, thank you so much for being here. Please come back, would you? All right, we'll be back on Nevada Newsmakers with the Pundit panel. Got a lot to talk about today. We'll be right back.
Before you head to Carson, take care of yourself with a visit to Tamarack Junction. Catch a hot cup of coffee and the morning news on one of our 32 TVs and enjoy the best food in South Reno. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Today's lesson, another reason to take the Gold Rush Club Card Challenge. With the Gold Rush Card, you really have 3 cards in one. Use your cash back. You still keep your comps and drawing tickets. Use your comps. You still keep your cash and drawing tickets. And with your drawing tickets, you could win thousands in cold hard cash every week. And still keep your cash back and comps. Does your club add up? Graduate to the Gold Rush Players Club. It's the smart thing to do. The Gold Dust West, south on Keystone, east on 4th.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo Free Checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Make your daily commute easy with breakfast or lunch at the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy daily specials, super fast service, and South Reno's freshest morning meals. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
The decision here is, will I be in control of this panel or not?
Well, I don't. We lost control a long time ago.
All right, let's introduce the panel, then we want to get on to the hot news story here. Scott Craigie is here, Martha Gould and Keith Lee. Welcome to all of you, as always. Okay, story coming out of John Ralston in Las Vegas this morning that you then confirmed.
Yes, and let me look at my notes. As I understand it, a Mercedes dealership has leased 65 acres of Indian land here in Washoe County. They're going to use 12 acres of that land for their dealership and are looking for other partners, other car dealers to move on to it. Now, this is Indian land. That means that the sales tax generated from the dealerships on that land will go to the Indians, not to Washoe County and the state, which is a hit to Washoe County alone of over $500,000 a month. Okay, that's what we're talking about. And we're talking about something that's statewide. This can happen anywhere in the state. And if the legislature does not hold a special session before December or January to plug the loophole in the law, we're in big trouble in this state.
Okay, let's start with you, Scott. What do you think?
Special session? You got to be kidding.
Special session 3. No.
But I mean, we've already had 2 special sessions in this 1 year. We've never had more than 1 special session in a biennium. At the same time, it's probably warranted. As sad as that is, the issue here is residential sales. I mean, retail sales on an Indian reservation. If this works, there'll be 20 more deals by the time the legislature meets next time. The Paiutes down in southern Nevada, they're building their 4th golf course. They're building a shopping center. They're building a casino. It has gotten to be such a serious growth area down there that the city-county groups are arguing over who's going to annex the area next to them because it's going to spur growth. There could be tribal shopping centers and tribal shopping areas that grow up overnight, and really the state has to make a policy decision here.
Perhaps the state needs to go back again. I keep on saying this, and I know you get angry at me when I do. But the bottom line is not so much that the tribes in Nevada are doing something on what they consider to be their land and that they are within the rights legally. The bottom line is that we have a cockamamie tax structure.
Okay,
and that's the bottom line.
And you're right overall, Martha, but we can't go in and change the whole tax structure right now.
Well, maybe we have to. Maybe we have to.
We tried through 1 session and 2 special sessions, and we've got a hodgepodge now that is less workable than before. I agree, but
and why should the native tribes in Nevada? They're being entrepreneurial. On the one hand, you want them to be entrepreneurial and to be self-sufficient, and on the other hand, now we're whining and saying, well, we can't let them do that because even right now the law says they can't.
Listen, this is a result of 150 plus years of bad public policy that was adopted in the mid 1800s. We've done nothing but perpetuate it. We've created this legal myth of a sovereign nation or sovereign nations within a sovereign nation. We want the American Indian to integrate into society. Yet on the other hand, we don't provide any incentives for them to do so. The incentives we provide for them is to remain an isolated community within our own community. And until we address that at a national level, I don't know that what the state legislature can do or what we can do in terms of passing laws that are going to give a short-term fix to the problem that we're talking about today.
Well, and open up the door for more lawsuits.
Well, as I understand it, there is a loophole in the law that we've left in there, Keith, and...
Well, I'm not sure what, I mean, I think we can probably fix the current situation with a change in the law that allows certain retail sales, and I'm not sure the intricacies of that, to be fixed so that we can tax those, and so the tax will flow through from the dealership, in this case, to the county and to the state as it's supposed to be done. I think that probably there's a fix to that if there's a willingness at the legislature to fix it. But again, I think that it's a national policy. It has to be addressed at the national level.
It's going to have to be a very, very tightly written proclamation by the governor. I mean, I know he knows that, but just to bring it up here. But there's going to be such a huge temptation to go back and fix some of the problems that have been exposed in some of these other tax plans. And if we start to reopen those tax plans, the one group we may never be able to reintegrate into society besides the Native American are state legislators.
All right, one of my sources described this to me as a city bank. Now, for those of you who were not around back in the 80s, banks wanted to come in, open up a call center, and our laws prohibited it. And so the legislature held, it was 12 hours, wasn't it?
It was a
12-hour session. And just to allow this, there was only, I think, one bill. And
that's right. Big difference though. You're not going to have everyone on the same page on this one. 100% agreement in that situation. The banks, all of the competing groups, et cetera. The tribes are going to come in and say, no, wait a minute. You know, you've held us back on 100 different things in the past, and now we have an opportunity, and what? This opportunity, because it's the right one, it's not going to be a consensus deal.
All right, so what would be the effect of a $6 million hit on Washoe County?
Oh,
it would be devastating for our schools more than anything. We could absorb that kind of a hit. I got to tell you, I've heard that same number, Andy, and I think that's excessively high. That may be the long-term effect if this goes into effect. And in fact, we have a lot of businesses moving onto Indian land and entering into leases. I don't see that as a $500,000. You know, I know they sell a lot of Mercedes in Reno and Washoe County, but not to the extent of a $500,000 sales tax hit.
Yeah, they were including other car dealerships in that. You know, they're looking at 65 acres, not just the 12 acres.
And truly, it could spread to Vegas. I mean, so it'll be a north-south. Everybody will be in it in terms of the state legislature.
And the bottom line is, if we aren't able, at the government level, to provide basic services, then you're not going to have economic development.
One of the
at the end.
And one of the key things here is it reopens the tax wars.
You know, does it ever.
I mean, Martha's already brought it up. We've hinted around it. This whole state right now was torn in half by the tax wars of this last legislative session. The legislative, all four caucuses are struggling with it. There are little mini civil wars going on in our political process. And this will just make it go to another
This is the
level.
last comment here, and you know what's really funny is public is actually paying higher prices on things now, and they didn't think that was going to happen. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers. We'll talk more about this, believe me, as the week goes on.
Big Apple Pizza, best pizza in Nevada, take one.
Today we're making homemade meatballs for a meatball parm. You like cheesesteak? I think you like the South Philly right now. It's the best cheese ever made. Now that's how a Philly cheesesteak's supposed to look.
And here's Little Cole.
This is authentic. We'll throw some pepperoni in here. Not gonna be shy about it. I bet you guys didn't know I could do that. Don't skimp on the topping. It's authentic as it gets. Big Apple Pizza and Subs on the corner of Bering and McCarran, a New Jersey guy who knows how to make an East Coast pizza.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at DeAndrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South DeAndrea Parkway in Sparks.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Terry.
And this is Dan's Pizza and Parlor. Everything we make here is from scratch. Our fresh cut fries, homemade hamburgers made to order, fresh pizza dough made with 3 types of flour, and Terry's secret pizza sauce, and Dreyer's world-famous ice cream. And if you have a sports team, your kids can really have a great time here. Oh! Dan's Pizza and Parlor on Victorian Avenue, just down the street from Great Basin Brewery next to Pyramid Highway.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
More breaking news coming up tomorrow, plus
Dick Damick and Frank Mullen.
We'll see you tomorrow.